Hello everybody, my name's Hunter Boyd, owner of HB's Custom Lures, and I want to start off today's video by introducing you guys to somebody. This here is my mascot, my companion, partner in crime some would say. This is Fred the Fish. He's going to be traveling with me to the trade shows that we're going to be at in the coming weeks. You'll see him in a lot of videos coming up. He's going to be with me a lot, so y'all stay tuned for that. So really the point of today's video is I want to do a Tackle Tip Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, April 12th, I believe, 13th, something like that. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about what we got. I'm going to break into my lucky tackle box here and show you guys some things that I have. Ooh, that's melted. Okay. So these that I have here are our HB's Custom Lures Wobble Jigs. It's a little chatterbait style bait. Really good this time of year. Get a couple more here. First things first, when you're fishing in the springtime, color selection is a big thing. The fish are really finicky because of the spawn. They're just trying to get up there, lay their eggs, and get out. Especially the big ones. It's hard to catch a big fish, but right now is the time of year that you will catch the biggest fish of your life. Right now in the wintertime are the two times to catch the biggest fish in the lake. So, starting off early spring, and I'm talking early, February, even into March, red. Red is the go-to. When that water hits 48, 50 degrees, those fish are starting to think about spawning. They're moving up, and red is the deal. This is my Wobble Jig, 3/8 ounce head. It's just red. I call it Fire Craw. I've got this paired on a Z-Man diesel minnow. I believe it's called Fire Craw as well on that, maybe Fire Tiger, something along those lines. It's just a basic orange and red, really simple. Not much to it, but they love this thing in the early spring. Definitely a go-to for me in February and March. So next, when you think of spring, first thing you think of weather-wise is rain. Lately it's been snow, but rain big time in the spring, and those creeks and the backs of the creeks, the water gets really muddy, and a black and blue is the deal in those creeks. This is same thing, Wobble Jig. It's got a black blade on it. I call this color Midnight Blue. It's got a lot of blue in the back. There's black on the top with a little bit of silver sparkles in there. I've got that paired with a 6 Sense Divine swim bait, just a little 4-inch black and blue swim bait. This is the deal when the water gets muddy, 6 inch to a foot of visibility. Those black and blues and chartreuses really shine. So when the water is clear, if you're fishing on the main lake in the springtime and you want a little shad imitation, this is called Mirror Blue. It's just a little white head. It's got a lot of silver and sparkles, flashy stuff in it. There's a little bit of blue in the back, just barely. I got that paired with a Reaction Innovations Little Dipper, just white trash, little 3-inch swim bait. Really small presentation, gets a lot of big bites. I'll catch a lot of fish on these in the summertime, mainly the summertime and the fall when they're feeding up for the winter for the shad. And then this is my go-to #1 bait in the springtime. If you're trying to catch a big fish, a bluegill color is the way to go. This is my Bluegill Wobble Jig. It's got a lot of orange in the back, a lot of green in the front. Just a really basic thing, nothing to it. I will pair that with a Reaction Innovations Little Dipper in a Dirty Sanchez color. That's definitely a big fish catcher in the springtime. When those fish are up on the bluegill beds looking for something to eat, they're hungry, and that is the deal. Let me tell you, folks. So that right there, bluegill color, black and blue, and the red is really my main springtime colors. I will throw a little bit of white, but I try to stay away from that just because something about it in the springtime is not great, but the summertime, that thing is killer, I promise you. So that's Wobble Jigs. Now I want to tell you a little bit about the rod that I will be throwing these on. This is a 7'1" medium heavy. This is a St. Croix Mojo Bass rod. I love this thing. It's my favorite rod that I've got. Got it from Dunn's. It's about 130 bucks. And this reel is my all-time favorite reel. This is a Shimano SLX digital DC. It's got a computer in it. I promise you, you can't backlash this thing. This is a great reel for anybody that wants to get into throwing bait casting reels, just because it's impossible to backlash this thing, and it's great to learn on. I got this thing last year, and I don't think I've even remotely backlashed it yet. You can cast this thing a mile. This is the 6.3 to 1 gear ratio. I'd recommend for a chatterbait setup, anything but from 6 to 7.5 gear ratio is good. Just kind of this real slow reeling. I like a 7 foot to 7.2 rod, just because I'm 6 foot tall, my arms are really long, and a short rod is just not good for me. All of my rods are over 7 foot. So 7 foot to 7'2" rod, something that's got a lot of bend to it. Just because whenever you set the hook on that thing, you don't want to rip it right out of its mouth, but you don't want it to be too soft where you don't get a good hook in him. So medium heavy. I like a fast action rod. It's got a fast tip on it with a lot of bend. 12-pound line. This is just standard Walmart strand line. I don't use anything fancy for fishing line. I've never really got into the big fluorocarbons and stuff like that. I'm not a pro fisherman or anything. But this 12-pound strand line, you can get it for $6 at Walmart. It's the best line I've ever used. I grew up on the Walmart Zebco line, and I actually upgraded a couple years ago to the strand, so I made a big jump there. But 12-pound, 15-pound works, anything in that 10 to 15, 17-pound range, really anything. It doesn't matter. If you're trying to catch a big one, go big or go home. So yeah, I'll tie a Palomar knot on that, and I'll probably have a few more videos in the coming weeks about different knots and different ways to fish these lures. That's all I've got for today's Tackle Tip Tuesday. You guys stay tuned for next week and the upcoming videos that we've got. I'm hoping to do one of these every week, and then a few other little videos in between, just showing you guys a little bit of what I got, what I know, sharing tips and tricks with you guys, and hopefully helping you guys catch a lot more fish. So y'all stay tuned. Thanks for watching.